All right, so usually I am the one that I start the introduction, me and Robbie actually, but this time Andreas said, let me get into it.
So guys, hello, welcome to the fourth TK Boxing Podcast. We don't have Robbie with us, so I'm going to do the introduction. It's Tolis K. Valley over here, TK Boxing owner and the host of the podcast. I'm Andreas Katzourakis, I'm a professional fighter, and let's roll.
All right, you have any questions for me?
I think I'm good, man. I'm covered.
Andreas, welcome, brother. Welcome.
Okay.
So you said that Houston is better than LA, but you're just going a little bit back and forth now.
Look,
I mean, usually
you're putting me in a difficult spot.
It's
right?
LA,
In a
so
difficult
just say
situation.
it.
LA is more beautiful.
You guys have nice big parks. That's fine.
Let's have to be honest. I mean, LA is more beautiful. LA has everything. It has a beautiful city, has mountains, has the beach. So LA is more beautiful. But if I had to choose where I would live, where I would raise a family, I think I would choose Houston. I would still choose Houston.
Okay.
Depends also on the economical background and everything else.
You are thinking very long term.
Yes. I mean, look, if I'm thinking very long term, I'm going back to Greece. We're going back to Athens. So.
Okay, so that's one of your things. You really want to go back at some point?
I think so, because at the end of the day, what I'm doing here is me having a professional career as a fighter. It's not like I'm doing a different job or something else that I see a bigger future. And, you know, like as fighters, we have a small career, a short career. Most of the professional athletes in general. So I think after 35, about 35...
Yeah, but you will have a long career, first of all. And second,
yes, but I mean,
you are so young.
A long career in boxing, what is it? 36, 37? That's a long career. And when you're done with it, if you've made it to the top and you've made all the money that, you know, there are in boxing, why not go back home? You know, enjoy home, enjoy with your family. I mean, Greece is one of the most beautiful places on earth. The only problems with Greece are the opportunities that you get and everything else. And since you're not going to have the problem of opportunities or money, why not go back home?
All right, I want to go back to this conversation because I really like it and we want to get into it. But first of all, I want to ask you about the event that you got the last Saturday with Overtime, which it was amazing. You were the main event. It was live on DAZN, and I think it was it was one of your dreams come true, or it was, or you have. I mean, I know you have much bigger goals, but
it definitely was. It's the same thing that I was saying to some of the Overtime managing team after the fight. You know, I was really thanking them for this opportunity and everything else that comes with it, because it's been a dream of mine. Being from Greece and being from a place, you can understand it because, you know, we grew up in the same place, in the same country.
First of all, a Greek and Albanian speaking in English in a podcast.
We both speak Greek, but I mean, let's leave that aside.
I hope they understand what we're talking about. I'm sorry.
We have to talk to our American crowd too. So
it is a dream, though. It is a dream.
It is because for us, it's something that we don't feel it's attainable because nobody has ever done it. Or if someone's
Andreas,
done it,
you are the second Greek fighter that is established and has a really big boxing career, right? I mean, I know a lot of Greek guys that they tried, but you and Arnautis,
Mike,
right?
Yeah.
Mike Arnautis, which he was one of the first ones.
Yeah. Mike Arnautis, other than Anton Christoforidis, which was back in 1940s, Mike is the only Greek fighter that has fought for world title. He didn't win it. He lost on a split decision. But
from Greece, or he was an immigrant living in a different...
he moved from Greece, if I'm not mistaken, 20 years old. He went for a couple of years to England, and then he moved to Philly. And from Philly, he made his entire career. If I'm not mistaken, he fought twice for the world title. The first time, it was a split decision. So you know what does that mean? You know, split decision, if you're not the world champion, most of the times they're robbing you, unfortunately. And after that... it's a big
so basically that's why you were saying, which I know that for a fact, that that is so difficult from one of these countries to be in the big stages like you were, and of course that was one of your dreams.
Yeah, because it's surreal. It's not something that you can see. It's not something that you can relate to. People from United States, they can't understand it because what they see people from their hometown, they see people from their gyms achieving their goals and becoming world champions, fighting TV, becoming the main event. And it's something attainable for them, you know, because if a guy from the gym made it, I'm going to make it too. But for us from Greece, who are we going to relate to? Mayweather and Pacquiao?
Nobody, and most likely the examples that we have, they didn't make it not even close. So
Exactly.
you get discouraged, like, you know what, like, no, it's just a waste of time.
It's impossible. That's
You're
what
not
people
gonna
think.
make it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And you are proving that
not.
of course you can make it. But how much overtime help you to be in the position that you are now?
It's a huge help. Overtime, it's an amazing promotion. They're new to the game. They were established last August. I don't know how long they've been planning before it, but last August they started their shows with 4 shows every week of August, which the shows were spectacular. I fought on the last show, Overtime 4, August 25th. It was an amazing production. The whole situation they did in Atlanta in Overtime Arena, it was a very unique experience for me because it was my first TV fight. And the whole fight week, the media day, the waiting, the fight day, everything was so much oriented towards the athlete having a nice experience that it was really amazing. And they brought the same thing in Houston, in my current hometown, and it was an amazing experience to be able to be the main event in Houston in a sold-out arena, something very special.
Bunch of Greek flags there, right?
A bunch of Greek flags, man.
You know what I like about Overtime also? That they promote their fighters a lot. You don't see that very often. Usually the promotions, they promote them like when they have a fight. But
Yes.
I see they promoting them like the whole year.
Not only that, what I like about Overtime and what's unique about them is that they promote both fighters. Like I was fighting
wow.
the Uzbek, and they weren't promoting only me.
Okay,
They
so the
promoted both
Uzbek
of
guy
us.
was not with them. I was confused. So you
So,
basically...
Part of the tournament is this. They signed all 8 guys for the tournament. Basically, none of the 8 guys have an extension of the contract after the tournament. So we're all with them until December.
Okay.
After December, the winner gets an automatic extension. And they can sign, I guess, whoever they want after that. But right now, I mean, we had a home show in Houston, and I was the main guy in Houston, so they didn't really have to promote the other guy, but they didn't care. They did it, and it's not only about the Uzbek. It's about every fighter that fought in the card that they got promoted. Κάτσε, κόλλησα τώρα, θα το κόψουμε. They got promoted. Καλά το είπα, ναι.
Promote, yeah.
It's that they got promoted the right way, an efficient way, so they have the right exposure. Because you see in all those major, promotions.
You want to promote the fight in a sense of we have Andreas Katzourakis, which he is a great fighter, but at the same time we have this Uzbek guy, which he is a great fighter too. So you guys need to watch the fight because we're not just giving him easy fights.
Exactly.
Look who is he? He has what, 21-2 or 19?
20-2.
20-2.
He was like 3 years mandatory for the Errol Spence.
Yes, and he probably has a background amateur fight like
280 amateur wins.
Yeah, so he was. You should promote this guy. You should promote the event.
It's not. It's against what I tell you. You see, with all these other major promotions, they usually promote only one fight. They usually promote only the main event. They forget about the rest of the card. Overtime will give attention to every fighter that fights on their card, and it's amazing.
Let me ask you. I remember. So you guys are 8. You were 8.
Yes.
Now you are in 4. I remember Andre Ward. He fought in a similar event in Germany. I don't remember the year.
WBS Super Series.
I haven't
like
seen anything like that since then. Is it something similar?
So, what they were doing with the Super Series.
Can we explain a little bit so
yes.
they can understand what?
So, what they were doing with the Super Series, it's that they were taking the 4 champions or 4 top names of the division. They were making them fight, and they were having ultimately an undisputed champion. I think that's what it was all about. Usyk became an undisputed champion this way too in the cruiserweight division. What Overtime does is something very unique. They're taking prospects and contenders, and they're putting them together to ultimately make someone that's really unique and special in the division, and make them, if not mandatory, top 5, I guess. In some organizations, they're gonna have to announce if they have any news about it. And it's amazing because you've been around many fighters, many professional fighters, and you know how tough it is for us as contenders to get good quality fights because nobody wants to fight you. They're asking for too much money, and it's all this situation.
Or your management don't want to put you with a good guy.
Yes,
not your management, but like in
yeah.
general, because I feel like that's the thing that, as they call it, Floyd era, nobody wants to fight with each other. But this is incredible because you have 8 prospects that they are all mostly undefeated and they fight each other. I never seen that before.
Yeah.
So, but in my opinion, if you want to be in a high level, you need to step up.
Yes, and I think it's something that all the fans want to see. They're seeing amazing fights. I mean, the first 4 fights of the tournament were great fights. And I think Overtime is going to continue doing it. I hope they continue doing it because I'm a fan of the sport and I want to see that happen in other divisions too. Because it's amazing not only for opportunities for guys like me, but also for the fans of the sport.
Yeah, it looks like they came, they will be established, they are like they are into the sport, they're helping fighters, and that's great. Let me ask you something. Did you guys I want to talk to you a little bit about your trainer. Did you guys work specific for this opponent, right? For
Kudratilo, yes.
Yes. How is your experience with Ronnie Shields?
My experience with him is amazing. Honestly, what's great about Ronnie is the fact that he's such an established coach. He's worked with more than 29 world champions by now and legends of the sport that everybody knows.
Can you name some?
Yeah, I mean Mike Tyson, Meldrick Taylor, the Charlo brothers, Erislandy Lara, now he has David Morrell, Filip Hergovich.
Meldrick Taylor,
Pernell Whitaker.
Pernell fought with Chavez, or
yes,
that was a crazy fight. Do you remember?
Yes. I think you're talking about the Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor that they stopped in the last seconds.
They stopped it in the last 10 seconds.
Taylor, yeah.
That was Meldrick Taylor.
Yeah.
He was winning the whole fight, and
he was destroying Chavez.
Okay. I mean, I remember that, and that was crazy, right?
That was crazy.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you work with Ronnie Shields?
Yes.
And
it's great the fact that you have such a legendary coach, and he's not trying to manipulate your style. He will let you develop your own game. Like we have very different fighters in the gym, and each fighter has his own style. Ronnie will make his tweaks, and he'll fix something that he doesn't like. But he will let you develop your own game. He will let you do your thing. He's not gonna let you do no mistakes, but he's not gonna put you into a form and make you do something because he likes it.
The way you saying that, it reminds me that a lot of coaches, they try to change their fighters in a certain way that they know how to train.
Yes.
And it's not everybody for every style.
Yes.
Basically.
I don't want to compare, but I worked for a year with Abel Sanchez in Big Bear. Amazing experience with him too. But he had a different approach. He's the kind of coach that he wanted you to train a specific way and he wanted you to fight this specific way. Like, if you had slick fighters with a lot of movement, it wouldn't work out. Because he was very Gennady Golovkin oriented. You know, move forward, be a machine. Let's put it this way. Be a machine, a tough fighter that's going to be able to take it and give it. Change angles and everything else. But it was more in a certain one way that he wanted you to work.
Because I came and I visited you in Houston twice, and I met Ronnie Shields. What I was surprised, and to be very honest with you, most of the elite coaches that I met, like Ronnie Shields, like Freddie Roach, but Ronnie Shields also, he's very humble.
Yeah.
And coaches in that level, he trained Mike Tyson, he trained all of these guys, and he's like working 100%. Like he's there every day, like he's putting the work, holding meets for you guys, being super focused, super serious, and I mean, how can you not put hard work if you have a coach like that, right?
I think people like Ronnie, they're married to the game, and they'll die doing it. It's funny because I was in Big Bear for a year, for people that don't know it, and I was working with Abel Sanchez, as I said before. And I left Abel because he retired, and that's when I went to Ronnie. Abel and Ronnie, they're about the same age. So when I moved to Houston, I had them in the back of my mind. I'm like,
maybe it will be the same
do you think
experience
in the next years, maybe Ronnie's going to retire too? And at some point, after Kelly, my girlfriend, moved with me too, and you know, we have our apartment, we have our friends, we have our life now in Houston. I was wondering, so I asked Ronnie once. I think he was with his wife too at the time, and I said, "Coach, you know, do you have in your mind like retiring the next
Wait,
years?"
that was before you signed with him, or you?
No, I was with him. I was with him like already for a year.
Okay.
And I'm like, do you think you're gonna retire in the future or something like that?
Like probably you will retire before us.
He said, "I'm gonna retire when I die."
Oh wow.
That's it. I mean, he loves the sport. He loves the sport. It's his life.
So Andreas, before you go to Ronnie Shields, okay, let's start a little bit from the beginning. I want to skip a little bit your how you started. I mean, it can be always interesting. Let's do it in other podcasts, okay? But from Greece, you came in LA, and I want you to talk to us a little bit about how was your experience moving from a different country, from Greece, from Europe, start being in the best boxing gyms in the world, train with the best fighters in the world, and how did you adapt in this situation? And the same subject, did you ever feel like, oh my God, that's gonna be hard, or you were like, I am in the right place?
So I think let me start from the end and go to the beginning. I don't think I've ever felt out of place. I knew from the beginning that's gonna be something very hard, but I knew it is what it is. You know, I have to do what I have to do. So I first moved in 2018, January 2018. I visited LA December 2017. I met with some people, I met with some teams.
Some people?
3 different teams.
You didn't met me? I met some people, bro. I was one of the first ones that you met.
So,
some people.
Man, other than you, we're talking about the management teams now.
Some people.
Let's keep this part.
You gotta keep this part, bro.
So,
I met some people, sleeping in my studio. Met some people.
No, that's after. 3 years later, everybody.
He forgets easy, all right, brother. Yeah, now you a world class fighter.
So we met with some teams. We got our offers. I went back to Greece. I signed with whoever I thought at the time that was the best offer on the table. It was a pretty easy transition because the manager that I signed with, it was a wealthy guy that really took care of me. So I didn't have no problem with my paperwork, with my housing, my food or anything like that. All of those parts were solved. The boxing situation was a little peculiar, but nothing special. It was just after the first couple of years, I felt like I needed a change to keep growing.
What is the difference, I'm sorry, between the European amateurs, I mean, let's say the European boxing with the American boxing?
I think the European boxing,
it's more amateur?
If you take it in the amateurs, I think they're staying there. I don't think the professional ranks are so wide. So, and I think what we have in mind as professional boxing in general is Mexican style and American style. It's either the Mexicans were the fan favorites moving forward, making amazing fights, or the American style, which is what I have in mind as an American style, are the black slick fighters that have amazing technique, they're very crafty, good counter punching, great movement, waist and everything. So I think those two are the best as professional styles. If you put Soviets in there and everything else with that style, I think they're having trouble. If you translate it a little bit, like what Lomachenko is doing and other fighters, that's a different story. But fighters like Lomachenko and Usyk...
Yeah, but he adapted too in the American
Exactly,
style.
that's what I'm saying. And they're very special fighters, like even before come to the professional ranks. So yeah, I think America is the place to be. Not only to learn the sport, but to grow in the sport too.
I feel also that here boxing is an occupation. In our country, is
hobby.
It's a hobby. You know what? I wouldn't say a hobby. They don't let you really make it as occupation because you're not making enough money, which means that you need to make different jobs in order to pay your bills. So you never really say, you know what, I will be committed only in boxing. But in USA, you are like, okay, I have my management, I have my promoters, and we go all in.
It's one of the biggest sports. I mean, it's one of the highest paying sports. And how it wouldn't be? It's one of the biggest sports in the world. The fact that in Greece we don't have it doesn't mean anything.
You came in LA. You stay 2 years?
About 2.5 years.
You stay 2.5 years. And that was, I believe, because I know you really well, that was one of the most hard times in your life, right? Because after LA, you went back in Greece.
I went back home for about 6 months, yes.
You went for about 6 months. So to be very honest with you, by that time I thought like, oh man, that's going to be very difficult for Andreas to come back.
Same thing.
To find a new team, to find a new promoter, to find a new management, to find new people. And because it's a lot of issues that let me say it that way. The people in USA don't know that is money problem, is the immigration problem, is all of these issues that you had to figure out in order to come back. It's not just I am a skillful fighter. So what made you like being so mentally strong and say I will make it? Like doesn't matter, like you had some bad situations, you had some whatever you had. I will make it. I will go back in US and I will make it happen.
So I'll tell you this. I mean, you know it better than everyone. You know the whole story, how it developed and unfolded and everything else. It was some very tough months in my life, that period of time, that small period of time that I was in Greece. Because at the time I was trying to get off my contract. And it was a very weird situation I think for any fighter that's never been through that, to have to interact with lawyers and everything else. I'm not gonna lie to you, at some points I thought my career was almost over. I thought I wouldn't be able to get out of the situation that I was, and that I was, I mean, excuse my language, I was screwed, that I was over. But after a while, we somehow figured it out.
How? I remember, πώς τον λένε,
Ποιο?
τον manager, το δικό σου?
Τον τωρινό.
Ναι.
Αυτό πάνω από ρε κερατά.
Ας να το πω και δεν χρειάζεται να το κόψουμε. Πώς το λένε?
Split τον David McWater.
Όχι ο
Αλλά
David,
ο Brendan ο Σιγάλας
Brendan, ναι. So Brendan, don't cut that. It's fine. When you listen, Malaka, there's something good going on. So Brendan is the one, am I right?
Yes,
Brendan
right.
is the one that he found you through
Funny
USA.
Story. Funny story. Let me say the story. At the time, I was talking with another promotion in Miami, Global Legion. Another Greek guy, Kosmas. So I was talking with him at the time. We were in the situation of getting the contract together. I had received multiple messages from managers from the United States, either legit ones or non-legit ones, but multiple.
Kosmas was trying to help you, right?
Yes, Kosmas was trying to bring me to Miami. So none of the managers, though, I felt was a big management. And at the time, I didn't want to, because I had already done something and been through a situation that wasn't right. I wanted to get something right. I want to get the right people with me. You
want to take your time.
Yes. I want to get the correct team to be able to build up the future.
You didn't want to rush.
Yes. So Brendan texted me a message on Instagram. Brendan, by the way, for people that don't know, was my manager. He's now working for Overtime full time. He was with Split E. He shoots me a message saying, hi Andreas, we saw you online, everything else, we know who you are, we would love to work with you. At the time was COVID, during the COVID period, that they were doing the bubble with Top Rank. And he says, we would love to put you on the shows. And when I read the message, the first thing I do, he says, I work with Split E Boxing. I go on his profile. No boxing pictures whatsoever. So I'm like, probably, he's just another guy that he's trying to get me going. I remember you were telling me. So I replied, I never searched what Split T management was. The biggest mistake I've done in my life. I've never checked what Split T is. So.
Oh, really?
Never.
No way.
Never.
So you rushed through a message back?
Yes. I just messaged him back that, at the time I'm talking with someone, which was the truth. But thank you for the message. So after my talk with the other guy that I just explained finished, it didn't finish the best way. He said something about money. We didn't end up making getting on the right amount. I'm like, fuck it, what can I lose? Let me check Brendan again. So I open the messages, I go, I see Split Management, I look online, Split Management.
Usually when we say, fuck it, we have nothing to lose, let's try it. I got a lot of opportunities just because I was saying that.
Yes, that's how it goes usually. So I open my laptop, Split Management, boom, Teofimo Lopez, Ivan Baranci.
Wow.
This, that. I'm like, wait a second.
Hey, hello.
What did I do? So I text Brendan immediately, I'm like, hey man, do you still have some time? Do you want to chat? So he called me, we talked with David McWater too, and 30 minutes later, we were talking for probably 20-30 minutes, not a long time. We hung up the phone, 10 minutes later I have the contract. The next
10 minutes
week,
later you had the contract. So basically they were waiting for you. You were just going, didn't know what. Wow.
They told me later, McWater told me too, he said, I told Brendan that no matter what, he had to sign you. He said, I really wanted you, he had to sign you. And we didn't really negotiate. The contract was perfect. It was a nice, simple contract. I asked for a couple stuff.
I mean,
I got what I wanted.
no, I met the guys. They're great.
They're
man.
amazing.
They're
They're
great
amazing.
guys. Yeah.
They're amazing.
And
really
they found you the gym in Big Bear. How did that? Or I know you that. Yeah, but I know you that well that you wouldn't go and choose whoever trainer. Probably did you got involved? Like, hey guys, I want these options. Find one of them.
No. So what happened was they asked me in the beginning what I wanted. What I told them was I want a place to stay, food on my table, and an elite coach. Because those are the things that are going to get me in the top. Everything else I have. So they said, don't worry about it. And they presented 10 names of coaches. All the names you know. All the coaches, very well-known coaches. Ronnie wasn't one of them, by the way. Ronnie wasn't one of them because they never worked with Ronnie prior to me.
Okay.
All the coaches that they offered me, they had some athletes there or they worked on the past. One of the names was Abel Sanchez. So I heard the name and I'm like, no way, I mean, Golovkin is one of my heroes.
Yes.
And I go back to my father, my family. We're talking about it. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Did I say it on we had dinner all together? So we had dinner all together one day. Brendan calls me. We haven't decided the coach yet. I know all the names, there are about 10 names, but we haven't decided. So he calls me. He says, "Hey, Katz, what's up? How are you doing?" He says, we're thinking that it's going to be a little tough through all the logistics if we take you to a place like Brooklyn or LA or Miami and we have to rent you a house, get you a car.
Let me take you to the mountains.
He said, no.
Basically.
Yes. So he says, what do you think about getting one of the coaches that we told you that they have a camp so you can stay in the gym? So in my mind, the only coaches that I could stay in the gym were Robert Garcia and Abel Sanchez.
Robert Garcia is hosting guys also in the...
Yes, I think Robert Garcia has also a camp in the
I
gym.
love that, that's awesome.
And so immediately those two names pop up on my head. I would love to work with both. And he says, what do you think about Abel? When he said, I was like, yes, let's go. So yeah, that's how I went to Abel. And after Abel retired, he presented me the same names, but then, I looked a little further and I said, I want to work with Ronnie.
I read a little bit about what is Abel, the way that Abel is training his fighters. And I personally love it. I don't know if you can last 12 months in Big Bear, but I think it's the best place to do a camp, right?
So
for 3 months.
Big Bear for Abel too is a place for camp. It's what you said. It's a place that you'll go 6 to 10 weeks out of a fight and finish your training camp, get you ready. But the problem with that is that I didn't have no house in the United States, no car, no family.
You mean in Big Bear?
No, in the US.
Okay.
I didn't have no house, no car, no family, no money to be able to go back and forth from Greece.
I see.
So the only option for me was to stay in the gym for
in the mountains.
As long as I was. So 12 months straight, I was in the gym in the mountains.
He's very old school, right?
Very old school, yeah.
Which I really when I come to visit you there, I remember I see some equipment that I never seen in my life.
He was making the equipment on his own. He had, from what I understand, one of his hobbies was woodworking and welding, iron welding. So yeah, he was making.
I think that gym, if it's not already, it can be a museum in a couple of years from now. Besides of the equipment, like everybody was there, right?
Yeah.
To make camps
and
what happened after that?
After that, I talked.
I picked you up.
So funny story again. We're gonna share many funny stories. I hope we had more time. So Abel tells me that he's gonna retire 7 a.m. after a run. So my head was messed up. At the time, it was me and a friend of mine in Big Bear, Rafa. Shout out, Rafa.
Rafa, yes.
Yes, you know Rafa.
He's training in Brick House.
Yes. So at the time, it was the two of us up there, but he has a house in Glendale.
Okay.
In Glendale, I think, yes.
Yes.
He had a place in Glendale, he had his own car. So the moment he finds out, he had the same, if not more, because he was there 2 extra years, bad emotions. But he's going upstairs, packing his bags, and he's out.
All right.
And
good luck in your life.
And I'm like, So I had just bought, Rafa brought me last week some feta cheese. People from Greece know what I'm talking about. And I had 2 packs of new feta on the fridge. Mind you, I don't have a house. my coach just retired. I don't have no money. I don't have no place to stay. And I'm on the couch thinking about what am I going to do with my boxing career and where am I going to go. And if the feta is going to go bad in the race, I swear to God, I kid you not. Yeah, thank God I
So you were worried about your career and about the feta.
Everything, bro. Everything. So I called you. You came up next day.
That was the next day?
That was the next day, man. That was the next day. Thank God. Thank you.
It was not snowing, right? Too much.
It wasn't snowing, but it had snow.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it snowed once and the snow stayed there for 3 months.
Still cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some nice tacos there.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yeah. I don't
And
remember the name
then,
of the place.
yeah, we got.
Then we became
down
to Hollywood.
No, we became roommates.
Yep.
That was
a month.
2 weeks. That was a month.
What 2 weeks?
That was a month.
It was a full month. Almost a month. 3.5 weeks. 3.5, 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. The first couple of weeks we're trying to figure out with my management splitty where am I gonna go, because they wanted me to train with one of the coaches that they had already worked with. I want to train with Ronnie Shields because at the time I was adamant. I'm like, I know that you never had someone with him, but you know everybody in the boxing business. Try. And they got in contact with me, with him. They texted him some footage of me and some information.
Before you move it on Shields,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say a story that I remember. By the time that we were staying together in LA till to figure it out, we were training in different boxing gyms so you can maintain a little bit. And I was taking you to different gyms in the times that nobody was training. Yeah. And one time we went to the gym and it was only me, you, and it was another dude in the next bag. He was super big, super tall, and super naked. And
super naked.
And you were started looking weird, like what the fuck am I doing? And then at some point, this dude, he will start like headbutting the bag, and you are like, Tolis, let's go.
I'm out.
She's like, no. You are like, I'm out, but I'm out from boxing gyms like completely till we find a serious gym. I don't want to do any maintain. I don't want to do nothing.
No.
Just like
around and that's it.
But I get that, bro. I get that. Like if you are in this level and like your goal is to be a world champion, you need to surround yourself.
And also, I mean, you're in a tough mindset and a tough place at the moment.
And you have the dude headbutting.
Yes, and you can't see
dude, maybe you should have copy him at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I would go back to Greece. I don't know, man.
So, and I don't even remember how did it ended up with Ronnie Shields? Did you want Ronnie Shields?
I want Ronnie Shields. They got in touch with him. They sent him some footage of me. He wanted me to go see him for a couple of weeks and start training together. I went. We trained once. And he called my management afterwards and he said, I want Andreas. And then the second day we trained, he took me to his office afterwards and he said...
It looks like you guys connected so quick,
Immediately.
Like I never seen you be connected with a coach like so much.
Yeah,
and
immediately. Plus, at the moment, Zermal was just getting camp for a...
Did you cook a moussaka for him? That's why?
Pasticcio.
That's one of the reasons. Yeah. Like I don't think he ever had a fighter that cooked him pasticcio.
No, and he will never have a fighter cooking pasticcio. You know how I do it.
My world champion, he's cooking me. Andreas, we don't have a lot of time, so I want to go a little bit real quick. That's incredible. Like you went in Houston by yourself, and that's not the incredible part, but you build that Greek community, and you have such a big Greek community supporting you. I know this man that helped you so much to build that community, and I really want to talk. I really want you to talk a little bit about it because I know how important it's for you.
So you're talking about Dimitris.
Yes.
Dimitris is the owner of Nikon Nikos in Houston. Nikon Nikos is the best Greek restaurant in Houston. By the way, they're opening a new one to Woodlands, just for the people from Houston that know.
Okay.
He's an amazing man. He's like family to me. He's like an older brother, like a father. He's honestly like a family to me. The way he welcomed me. I was about 6 months in Houston before I met him. 6 months I was alone. I didn't know anyone. Once I met Dimitri, my life in Houston changed. The way he opened his arms and his house for me. Immediately the first day I met him, he had a huge lunch for me. I met many of his friends, the Greek ambassador, his wife. He took me at his house. I met his family. just amazing, you know.
That's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Of course.
But I told you many times about that you are a great guy too, not because you are my friend, but you are a great guy, and when you are a good human being, you attract good people. So basically, this man, he's like, wait, we have a guy from our country. He's a great guy. He just came. Like, let's help him. So basically,
just for people to understand how he's, I don't know if he wants me to say and all this stuff
he
about him.
probably don't want to.
He definitely doesn't want
to. But you're saying that from your heart.
It doesn't matter. I'm still gonna say it. The first day I met him, I was with him from 11 in the morning till 8 at night. After, when we were saying bye, he had already given me his number and he said, whatever you need, call me. The whatever you need, call me phrase is an easy phrase to say to someone. You know, when you meet someone that's in a tough spot, you will tell him, whatever you need, call me. But you know in the back of your mind that he will never call you to ask for something.
He's just saying that.
So it was the same situation then. I said, I loved it. I had an amazing time. I hope I see him again. That's what I said in the back of my mind. So next day, we're in Houston. It has a very, very mild, it was hurricane season. A big storm, but mild for Houston. And my phone rings. It's afternoon. My phone rings. I see Dimitri. So I pick up the phone. I say, hey, Dimitri, what's up? He says, hey, baby, how are you doing? He says, do you need anything? Wow. Do you need some food? Do you need some water? I just met the guy.
No, you don't find these things, bro.
I say, what?
You don't find these things.
I say, Dimitri, I don't need anything, man. I say, thank you so much. I couldn't believe. And when I tell him the story, that's the funniest thing. When I tell him the story, he doesn't understand how special that is. He believes that everybody does it. He's just an amazing person, man. An amazing person.
Shout out to Dimitris and
shout out to
Nikos. Andreas, I have two more things for you, and very important. So the first one, very important because I wish I knew those things before I came in US, and I think you wish too. First thing, real quick, how can you, I don't know if that's the right word to say, motivate a person from Greece or from any other country that wants to step up and come in USA? Like, what would you advise? Because it's so difficult for these people. What would you advise? And since you are making it, it means that everybody can do it. But what do you need to do to get there?
So I would say pile up as much amateur experience as you can. I might not have the longest amateur experience in boxing. I have like about 26 fights, but I had a very extended amateur career in kickboxing. And I think it's very, very important. And the more extended your amateur career is, and even more internationally, in terms of like European championships, Olympic qualifiers, if you make it to Olympic Games, the easier it is as well to get recognition from a big team and get someone big behind you to support you. So I would say for sure, have a big amateur career. Be prepared for an extreme amount of sacrifice and difficulties that are going to follow in your life, and big setbacks that you're going to have to just keep grinding and grinding. And, if you're not willing to leave everything behind, don't do this. Because at the end of the day, you're leaving everything behind. People that haven't done it might think that it's easy and might think that, come on, man, he went to the United States, everything is easy, like he's living the dream. Oh, he's in LA. Oh, he's in Houston, he's in Miami. But it's not like that. It's not like that. It's a very, very difficult and grueling process, and you're
not impossible. But
no.
You have to.
It's just very difficult, and you're going through the whole session alone. That's what people have to understand. You're leaving everything behind. You're leaving your friends, your family, your girlfriend if you have one. And I had one, so
you are alone.
I still have one.
yes, and you guys look great together.
Thank you.
Yes, Kelly. So. Not only you are alone, but you have to sacrifice also.
Yes.
So you are in a different country, which you have to sacrifice. Yes. But the good news is that you can make it happen, like you did. So it's not impossible.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not impossible. You can definitely make it happen.
And we keep saying that. Like I say that for myself. Like I love to advise young guys from other countries that they send me, and they want to know more information. We are always here to support. Exactly. Not only from Greece, like whatever we can help.
What I want to be able to accomplish is
much bigger than
after we're done with the tournament, to get overtime, to do a big show back home. Do a big show back in Greece, to be able to put on
I thought you want stocks for Apple.
No. I don't care about stocks and Apple. What I want is Overtime and DAZN to go back to Greece, do a major show there, see the Greek talent that we have, and start having a straight pipeline from Greece to the United States or wherever they want, that they have the opportunity to fight in TV and make real money, to be able to support their people back home.
Basically, you came by yourself in my last question. I know what's your dream and I know where are you going to be, that you will be a world champion, but what is the future?
What's the immediate future?
Yes.
The immediate future is semi-finals of overtime
Θα
tournament.
το ξαναρωτήσω αυτό για να ακούς το ωραίο. My last question, which you came by yourself basically, what is the immediate future for you?
So the immediate future is semi-finals versus Robert Terry of the overtime tournament. Robert Terry fought. He was the co-main event in Houston. He won Villalobos. It was a very nice performance. He's a very nice guy. We were together in the locker rooms. A very nice fighter, very good boxer. So I think we're gonna have a very nice fight. Of course, I believe I'm gonna win. Of course, I believe I'm gonna take care of business. But it's definitely gonna be a challenge and it's gonna be a nice fight. So that's the immediate future. Next step, it's gonna be the final, which it's gonna be either Brandon Adams or Veron. I think that Brandon Adams is gonna edge and he's gonna win Veron, and that's who I want, to be honest, to fight too, because he's the bigger name, he's a more established name in the division. And after I take care of business with Brandon Adams too, so I'm looking now 2 steps ahead. We're going for a world title. That's what we want.
I know. And again, not because you're my friend, but I know how disciplined you are. I know how hard you work, and I have no doubt about that. Hey, Andreas, listen, brother, we are out of time, and I don't want to pay extra money. No, I'm kidding. No, just play. Andreas, listen. I think that you are very good in talking, and maybe you take my place next time.
We're gonna make it happen.
With Robbie.
Whenever I'm in LA, we're doing a podcast.
No. I'm out.
I'm gonna be
you
hosting.
do the Tiki podcast with Robbie.
As long as you put up the money, we're good.
Also, I put the money.
Yes.
Okay. Brother, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, let's get some food.
Yep, let's do it.